Salut à tous et à toutes. Donc, aujourd'hui, on va commencer Harvester sur DOS. Là, je vais start direct du DOSBox parce que, en tout cas, j'ai essayé de starter tantôt, puis je vais essayer d'aller on check l'intro. C'est un jeu DOS, mais vite de même, ça a l'air d'être pas mal beau pour le temps. On va checker ça. C'est ça, c'est l'intro que je voulais voir. Ça a l'air que c'est un point and click horror, ça a l'air qu'il était gars pas mal pour le temps. On va voir ce que ça donne. C'est un jeu qui est sorti en 96, je crois, à spécifier. Oui, parce qu'il pouvait marcher sur Windows 95. Bon, je pense qu'on va faire ça, là, c'est Please Way. Bon, je suis correct. Ah, the screen can be followed better yet with the manual. J'allais même pas le manuel. You can pick your friend and you can pick your name. On va pas internet to read and deactivate them. Press escape to bring up the option menu. You can combine object and choose object by clicking and dragging them into one order. Okay, screen to doctor, justin to gamma. Check your photo on the virtual screen as well. Get course. Ok. Ok. Je peux avoir l'inventaire de même. Ok, c'est indicator. Ok. Examine the plant. I recently watered was stick plant. On explore. Ah, miroir. You peer through a thin layer of dust after reflection. Ok. On va s'en aller dans le. Là, je vais parler à Should Talk to End.
What?
Hein? Who are you?
Leave me alone, Steve, or I'll tell Mom on you.
Ok, j'ai des keywords là.
Mom's in the kitchen, and if you bug me, I'll call her.
Look, Do you know me?
Wish I didn't, 'cause then you wouldn't be my brother, and I'd have your room, and all the presents at Christmas. Though I will soon enough anyway, 'cause you're a lousy rat.
You're my brother?
No duh.
Listen, I don't mean to, bug you, but I can't seem to remember anything. Will you please just tell me who you are?
Mom, Steve is bugging me.
Steve, leave Hank alone right now.
Steve, are you talking to me?
Yeah, only I don't want to be, 'cause I'm trying to watch my cowboy show.
I'm sorry. Look, I'm telling you, I need your help. I've lost my memory.
Have not. Cut it out.
I'm telling you the truth.
You always were a kidder, Steve. Leave me alone. I'm sick. Good. Fine.
Ok.
Well, hello there. How about some cookies? There's plenty of rejects in the trash.
Who are you?
That's a fine way to talk to your mother.
You're my mother?
That's right. Though sometimes I get treated like the hired help around here.
I don't remember you.
Of course you don't. Until you need your socks washed.
No, you don't understand. I can't remember where I am or even who I am.
Land's sake, stop your joshing, won't you? Honestly, Steve, I thought you'd grow up a little after graduation. I only hope that new job will plant your feet on the ground.
So that's my name. Steve.
Your name will be M.U.D. Mud if you don't stop teasing me, young man.
Listen, this may sound strange, but I've lost my memory. Do you believe me?
Well, you always were a kidder, Steve.
I'm serious.
Sure, and next you'll be telling me you don't remember Hank and your little sister.
Sister?
Shh, you'll wake her. I just put her down to sleep. If she wakes up, she'll just want to eat again. Darn it, I'm busy, and if you think I'm going to play along with this nonsense, you're crazier than Sparky down at the firehouse.
Fine. Maybe I am crazy. I can't rule that out. Why can't you just help me a little? Is that too much to ask?
Now you've done it. Are you happy? Poor baby.
Aqui, tá.
There, there. Did your brother scare you? Let me see.
Tá?
Darn that wasp woman. She's a monster, that's what she is.
Tabarnak, elle a de la misère, là.
Tetsuya Crumb is going to hear about this. I want you to go to her house right now and give her a piece of my mind.
I don't know where she lives.
Honestly, you can't miss a house covered with paper nests. Steve, you tell her to mind her own beeswax, or by golly, I'll take it up with the PTA. Or the law.
Bon. Paper nest. Yeah.
Don't forget to put the papers out for Jimmy. You know how he gets.
Ça c'est... Ok, là je te retourne dans ma chambre.
Hey, Steve, I'm Jimmy James. Remember me?
I guess not.
Hey, how come you haven't been putting the paper out for me in the morning? Well, I don't, you selfish punk. How'd you expect a working Joe to make an honest living? You don't put the paper out, I'm out of a job.
So what? You don't get paid for picking up papers anyway.
The Sentinel building burnt down. What the heck else am I supposed to do? Listen, start putting that paper out and everything will be Jake, okay? That's all I want. That and a pair of sneakers. Walking this route every day has worn holes in mine. Say, you got any spare sneakers? Oh, gee whiz. Look,
No,
fine,
you're
and
sorry.
I'd be willing to trade you for 'em. Something really neato. Think about it. See you later, alligator.
Bon. Ok. Ouais, j'ai pas remarqué c'est qui fallait que je parle. J'ai pas remarqué, faut... La ditch un petit peu, hein.
I told you I'm busy, Steve. Why don't you talk to Hank, or go next door and visit Stephanie, or go get an early start on your new job?
And just who is Stephanie?
Don't you dare toy with that sweet girl. If you start in on her with all this amnesia poop, she'll think her fiancé is having second thoughts about the wedding.
Look, all this talk about weddings is nuts. I'm not marrying anybody till I figure out what's going on here.
First the heartbreak of psoriasis, and now this. 2 weeks before the wedding and you're backing out. Whatever will the neighbors think?
I can't marry someone I don't even know.
Fine, have it your way, but leave me out of it. If you're going to break Stephanie's heart, you march right next door and do it yourself. And don't expect me to write you a note.
Ok, next door, on va aller voir Stephanie.
Don't forget to put the papers out for Jimmy. You know how he gets.
T'as vu ici, newspaper for Jimmy. C'est un newspaper à quelque part. Ok, qu'est-ce que c'est? Donc, we got next door.
Okay.
Ok. Il a acquis son king. Donc, on va aller voir Stéphanie pour commencer. Johnson Residence. Le voir ici.
Sorry. You'll have to ask Mrs. Potsdam for permission to see Stephanie.
Ok.
She's in the kitchen.
Ok.
Hello, Steve. Have you flossed today? Well, Stephanie is grounded, Steve.
Why?
I'm sure I don't know. Mr. Poston has sent her to her room, and in her room she'll stay until Mr. Poston says otherwise. Probably until the wedding.
Ok.
Mr. Poston feels there's too much at stake to allow Stephanie to run around loose.
She doesn't want to get married either, huh?
Are you saying you don't want to marry my daughter?
I don't know your daughter, Mrs. Potsdam. Why is she grounded? Afraid she'll run away before the wedding?
No! She's as delighted as we are about the wedding, every bit as delighted as we are. But she might get hit by a car, or a falling piano, or who knows what. Mr. Poston wants us all to be one happy family, and he doesn't want to risk anything happening at the last minute. I don't see any reason why not. Give my regards to your parents.
Bon, faudrait que je retournerais en arrière et que ça brille. Bon. Okay.
Who are you? What are you doing in my room?
Haven't you heard? We're getting married.
So, you're the one. Steve, isn't it?
You mean you don't know me?
I mean, I don't know anyone. I don't remember anything. How many times do I have to say it?
Just one, Stephanie, because I can't remember a damn thing either.
Really? Oh God, I thought it was just me.
You're not alone. Can you tell me what's going on here?
Those people downstairs have locked me in my room. They say I'm grounded until the wedding.
Okay.
The wedding is only 3 weeks away. Not much time to get to know each other, is it?
C'est quoi la rapport avec le wedding? Dans le voyage avant le wedding, t'en avais la peine, on voyait les...
No.
If it comes down to it, we just won't take the vows.
I don't think anything in Harvest is that simple. Too many people are determined that we get hitched.
Why?
Potsdam wants the meat your father promised him. Your parents want to force you to settle down. Mrs. Potsdam wants to have the wedding in the lodge. Me? I just want to escape.
Escape?
Harvest is a prison, Steve. Don't forget that. Of course I'm right. Maybe my amnesia isn't total after all. You're familiar to me. Like we've met before. In another life.
Maybe we really do live here. Maybe we were together, and the same thing happened to both of us. An accident. Something.
Neither of us has bumps on our heads, if that's what you're getting at.
Have you been able to remember anything else? Anything at all?
Well, I have had these recurring dreams. Just fragments, really. Strange, abstract images. Liquid, chrome.
Probably just a dream.
Well, have you thought about how to escape Harvest?
Escape?
Harvest is a prison, Steve. Don't forget that.
Okay.
Of course I'm right. Maybe my amnesia isn't total after all. You're familiar to me. Like we've met before. In another life.
Maybe we really do.
Neither of us has bumps on our head.
Have you been able to remember anything else?
Well,
Probably just...
Well, come back and visit me soon, okay?
Let's see, he skipped. Oh. Yes, sérieux. Ok. Bon.
There he is, my future son-in-law. And how's he doing today? What brings him to the Potsdam household, huh? Huh? What a card.
Would I kid about something like that? Why won't you believe me?
Well, you always were a kidder, Steve. Your mother just telephoned us about your latest shenanigans. Isn't that right, Mrs. Potsdam?
Sure did, Mr. Potsdam. You little rascal.
Imagination's a swell thing to have, in small amounts. Man needs to keep his feet on the ground, especially if he's getting married. Tell me, is your father feeling better? Is he going back to the slaughterhouse anytime soon?
The Slaughterhouse.
I can't imagine a better job than working in a slaughterhouse. Sure, it'd be just dandy. And you can't argue with success. Everyone in Harvest gets their meat from your dad.
Okay.
What a grand business to go into. Oh, sure, cutting animals open may not be much fun. Reaching into their bodies and yanking out the bloody guts, intestines dangling and slapping against you, the smell of death and shit in your nostrils all the time. Well, those are all definite cons. But once you're done, the guts have been washed into the gutters. What are you left with? Meat. Rows and rows of scrumptious red meat.
Bon, lager quelque chose. Okay. Dinner, store, your house, barber shop, some base, a lodge.
If it isn't my favorite son-in-law, what brings you here again? If it isn't my favorite son-in-law, what brings you here again?
Ok. Je vais te poser plus de questions. Je retourne chez nous.
I told you I'm busy, Steve. Why don't you talk to Hank or go next door and visit Stephanie or go get an early start on your new job? That's right, a job. Your father has everything set up at the meat plant.
At the meat plant.
After your honeymoon with Stephanie, you'll start out as a butcher in the slaughterhouse just like anybody
Okay.
else. Don't expect any favors just because you're the boss's son.
Ok.
Don't forget to put the papers out for Jimmy. You know how he gets.
Donc, faut que j'aille à Slaughterhouse, meet quelque chose, hein. Je l'ai vu tantôt. La meat plant. Ok. A red brick building with an horrible stretch coming from within. Ok. On va voir qu'est-ce qu'il y en a.
Steve, how's your father? Is he better?
About the same, I guess.
He's been away from work for weeks, and when I call your house, your mother won't let me talk to him.
I haven't seen him either.
This is a fine kettle of fish, I must say, though I am glad to see you taking an interest in the business in your dad's absence.
Who are you?
Aw, Steve, I didn't want to believe that amnesia hokum. Now you're saying you don't remember your pal Pat O'Reilly? What exactly is wrong with your dad?
I don't know. I can't get in to see him.
What exactly is wrong with your dad?
I don't know. I can't get in to see him.
You may come to realize that this business is not for everybody. Just ask your poor, ill dad. It takes dedication and a strong stomach. A lot of times, when I'm finished scrubbing up and digging the bits of intestine out from my fingernails, I must confess I don't have much appetite for red meat. But red meat is one of the principal food groups, and you've got to have it. So when you can do this all day and help yourself to a juicy red steak afterwards, then by golly, you can call yourself a butcher. Of course, amnesia would certainly help that, wouldn't it?
Wolf plus avec des chair.
Come to think of it, I don't see any cattle around here. Where do you keep the animals?
Does it matter? The end product is all the customer cares about, Steve. And we only carry the finest meat, only the juiciest cuts. Once you take over the business, you'll realize the importance of maintaining quality while cutting costs. We know what we're doing here, Steve. If we didn't, would the lodge use us to cater their affairs? Your father's very particular about the profit, Steve. No freebies for anyone. But seeing how you're his son, if you'll bring written permission from your father, I'll give you the meat.
Ok.
Don't be such a stranger, Steve, and my best to your dad.
Là, fallait que je retournerais. Ma maison. Pour faire je sais pas quoi.
I told you I'm busy, Steve. Why don't you talk to Hank or go next door and visit Stephanie or go get an early start on your new job?
Hank, that kid over by the television?
Your little brother is homesick from school today and I won't have you scaring him with this amnesia poop.
Is he really sick?
Look at the show he's watching. Wouldn't you say he's sick? I'd make him stop, but oh, I'm so busy baking cookies for the Harvest PTA Charity Bake Sale. It's on Friday, you know. I hope you're still planning on going.
I don't know. I need to think.
Honestly, skipping out of a charity affair. What's gotten into you?
I don't know, damn it. That's what I'm telling you.
Don't you dare use that language around me. You're lucky your father didn't hear you. Or Stephanie, for that matter. How do you think she'd feel knowing her fiancé was a guttermouth?
What charity is this bake sale supposed to benefit?
It'll help provide a fund for bums and hobos who wander into Harvest and have no family ties.
Kind of a specific target group, isn't it?
You have to pay attention to detail when dealing with such people.
I don't know what you mean.
You will. The whole thing has been organized by the Lodge.
Tell me more about this bake sale. Why is it so important?
As I told you, many unfortunates who come to Harvest end up needing financial help.
Why is that the town's problem?
It's not a problem, so long as those folks are taken care of. It's the will of the Lodge.
What lodge?
The Hall of the Order of the Harvest Moon, Steve. It's just the finest place in Harvest, and the most exclusive.
What's so great about it?
Hard to say, since hardly anyone gets inside. But it wouldn't be so exclusive if it wasn't just wonderful. Just like the new Reynolds dishwasher with their patented auto-dry process, TM. I've never used one, but I know I want it. Instead of sulking around the house all day, why not walk over to the Lodge and apply for membership? That's wonderful, Steve. If you got into the Lodge, you'd be the talk of Harvest.
Okay.
Don't forget to put the papers out for Jimmy. You know how he gets.
Well, that didn't work.
Keep it large. Keep it large, you. Fire station, police station. Et on s'y fiable. Bah, je suis cave ou je jouer cave, là, c'est bon.
I told you I'm busy, Steve. Why don't you talk to Hank or go next door and visit Stephanie or go get an early start on your new job?
Hank,
Your
is he?
Look at
I don't. I don't.
don't.
What
It'll help provide.
kind of a specific?
You have to pay attention.
I don't know.
You will.
Tell me more about this bake sale.
As I told you, many unfortunates who come to...
Why is that the town?
It's not a problem, so long as those...
What lodge?
The Hall of the Order of the Harvest Moon, Steve. It's just the finest place in
What's so...
Hard to say, since hardly anyone gets inside. But it wouldn't be so exclusive if... That's wonderful, Steve. If you got into the Lodge, you'd be... Harvest is a town unlike any you've ever known.
In what way?
I don't have time to go into it now. Why not take a walk around town and pester someone else? I'm busy.
Okay.
Don't forget to put the papers out for Jimmy. You know how he gets.
J'essaie de comprendre ce qu'il faut faire, mais... Ok. Là, j'ai été ici. J'ai été voir Stéphanie. Quoi aller faire dans le post-office?
Yes?
I need some help. Mr.
Postmaster Boyle, what can I do for you today?
Okay. I like a large application.
Sorry, youngster, we're out of applications right now.
Come on, you must have one around here somewhere.
Well, I do have the master, but you can't write on that. And I only make copies once a month, on the button, regular as clockwork.
Well, can I go get one at the lodge instead?
Afraid not, son. You can't get them anywhere but the post office. I'm sorry, you'll just have to come back in a month, same as anyone else. And even then, I can't guarantee you'll get an application. The line is always long, and there are never enough to go around.
Okay.
It's very important that I get in quickly.
That's what they all say. Postmaster Boyle, I'll just die if I don't get into the lodge. I can't make an exception, young man. It just wouldn't be right.
Okay.
Next time you post, don't forget the zip code.
Et puis si je vais voir ma mère avec ça. Je vais parler à ma mère avec ça, qu'est-ce que ça va donner.
I told you I'm busy.
Bon,
Donc-
ça n'a pas avancé de ce bord-là, pas en tout. C'est comment aller de bord. On va aller voir dans la maison abandonnée. C'est la fille qui me restera en fait. Une maison abandonnée. Tiens. Peu d'horreur d'une maison abandonnée. Let's go. What?
It's not often that I get visitors.
Are you the wasp woman?
I am Tetsuo Crumb. The ignorant of harvest called me the Wasp Woman. A pejorative, no doubt, born of fear and a poverty of imagination.
I don't understand.
The politics of honey, the Judeo-Christian rites of sacrifice and conventional taboos against unbridled pleasure are all responsible for the prejudice against wasps. When a bee stings, it rips itself apart and dies for its audacity. This appeals to those raised worshipping a god that demands sacrifice and atonement. But the wasp is promiscuous. They are not as sympathetic to the masses because they don't die when they sting. They live to sting another day, and they take pleasure from it. Yes, a great deal of pleasure. The wasp is a sensual being, not a laborer, hedonistic instead of industrial. Some think them quick to anger. In truth, they are easily swayed to ecstasy. They penetrate your flesh, and the muscular contractions in their thorax as they pump venom could be likened to the muscular contractions of ejaculation. Each painful welt, an act of love.
il y avait rien ici. Je sais pas, mais ok. Bon, on va arrêter là pour ce soir. On essaiera de comprendre ce jeu-là tantôt. Ben, la mission, pas grave. Ouais. Ok. Et on va arrêter là pour voir lui, là, je sais pas. Ok. Bon, on va arrêter ça là pour aujourd'hui. Bon, en tout cas, je dis moi j'arrête ça là pour aujourd'hui, mais vous, ça va repogner encore dans 2 secondes. Donc, à dans 2 secondes. Donc, re-salut pour vous l'autre, c'est qui écoute. Oh, il y a un frisbee là. Donc, on va continuer ça. Pour vous autres, ça s'est écoulé genre 2 secondes, mais pour moi, il s'est écoulé genre une journée. Là, ce que j'ai le goût d'aller faire pour commencer. Philip Heads Crew. Ok. Là, d'après moi, ce qu'il faudrait aller faire, c'est d'aller voir pour. Faudrait essayer de rentrer dans le. Dans le show du pays. Comment? Je sais pas si je pourrais trouver de quoi. Ici, qu'il y a rien. Ça fait bizarre en FMV. Ok. Ok, je peux fouiller là. Il y a de quoi faire avec le pays certain. Je viens d'avoir le dernier. Il y a de quoi avec la clé avec le pire affaire. Oh. Il y a une clé quelque part sortant.
I told you I'm busy. Don't forget to put the papers out for Jimmy.
Leave me alone, will ya? This is the good part.
Okay.
Good. Fine. Leave me alone, will ya? This is the good part.
Okay.
Good. Fine.
Il va falloir l'explorer. Là, on a été exploré. Là, il est frisbee sur le toit de la maison par rapport. Bon, juste qu'on va. Ouais, qu'on va aller voir dans le General Store, ouais. Ok. On va aller voir.
Can I help you, dear?
Who are you?
This is Phelps General Store, so who would that make me? Maybe you need to go back to Gein Memorial and have Miss Whaley teach you about logic.
I'm fuzzy on a lot of things these days. My memory's gone.
Pshaw, you always were a kidder, Steve.
I'm serious, I need some help.
Well, they say a sharp blow to the head is a good thing for amnesia, in which case I'd recommend Miss Whaley again. Then again, they say a good scare can jog the memory, in which case I'd advise you to visit the Sergeant-at-Arms over at the lodge. That man gives me the willies. Speaking of willies, how's your father?
Don't know. My so-called mother keeps him locked in his room, and I can't get in.
Care to buy anything today? Just point to whatever you want. I'm a little hard of hearing.
Taille prenne, ça peut me servir normalement.
A girly magazine?
Okay.
Why, Steve, I'm surprised at you. I'd expect that sort of thing from Deputy Loomis, but never from you. He's always coming in here oogling the girly magazines behind my counter. Darned if I'd sell him one, though. I know his wife, for heaven's sakes.
Well, will you sell me one?
I certainly will, Steve. That kind of interest is healthy for a young fellow. Steers him away from being a fireman.
Okay. Ok. Fait que ici, ça n'a pas donné grand-chose. Bon. Là, il y a chose binouche. Faut pas d'ailleurs retourner à l'école. Non. On va aller voir à l'école.
Steve, good of you to drop by, big guy. Haven't seen you since graduation. A lot of changes, I hear.
You could say that.
Good, good. That's a nice part of my job, turning fine young men and women out into the world, and then watching them prosper. Of course, I was able to reach more people at the old Sentinel, God bless her. But then again, I never got to see the results of my work up close before.
Who are you?
You know very well I'm Mr. Harold, the principal of Gain Memorial. Steve, I've heard about this amnesia nonsense. I had hoped you'd be in the lodge by now, fine young fellow like yourself. But now, I think maybe you need a little more quality time. Big guy, borrowing some quality time? The greatest gift I can bestow upon you as your former principal is a word of advice. Join the Order of the Harvest Moon at any cost. Within the lodge lies your future, and without, dust.
Bye.
Why do you keep calling me big guy?
A sign of respect, lad. As principal, my station is higher than yours now, but you never know what the future holds, so you should always hedge your bets and pay tribute to your inferiors. You never know who will come to power, or who, even now, wields it behind the scenes. For all I know, you might already be a member of the Order, with access to the lodge. If that were the case, you'd be my superior, and I'd be all that much better off having shown you respect and spent some quality time with you. Big guy, borrowing some quality. Drop in again soon. Adult education is a wonderful thing, as is adult quality time.
My goodness, class, this is Stephen. He used to be a student here at Gein Memorial. Say hello, class. They're reticent. The educator's gravest problem today is the apathy of the students.
What's wrong with their heads?
I can tell you in one word, Stephen. Discipline. Thank goodness you weren't a sulky bear. You were always a smiley bear.
Then you remember me?
Not as such. So many pupils, Stephen. They come and they go. But I can always spot those who were nice boys. You can tell from the forehead. The lobes, right, class? I'm glad you stopped by, Stephen. Would you care to say a few words to the class about civic responsibility?
Not really. I was just passing through.
Oh, but you must, Stephen. A positive role model might be just the thing to inspire these little monsters. Stephen, have you any questions for me? Or shall I continue with class? Ask away then.
This lodge, what do you know about it?
The building itself, like Harvest, was constructed with a specific purpose in mind. That noble intent is known only to those within the Order. You're at about the right age to join them, Stephen, and you will do so if you care about your future. Stop by any time, Stephen.
Fait que... Tiens, une affaire... Police Station, c'est ça qui me reste à faire.
Hello, Steve. Let me introduce myself. I'm Sheriff Dwayne, and this here is Loomis.
Pleasure, I reckon.
Then, we haven't met before?
Of course we have, but I heard about your alleged amnesia and figured I'd play along. I sure hope this is just a prank, and not the start of some insanity plea. Keep your nose clean, or you'll wind up in jail, and that's no place to hold a wedding. Amnesia or no, you can't have forgotten you're about to marry the prettiest little thing in Harvest. I think you and Stephanie are perfect for each other. I just hope her father's disappointment doesn't spoil everything.
Disappointment?
Mr. Potsdam wants to hold the wedding in the lodge, but he'll never get in. Like all the rest, he's always hanging around the post office the first day of the month, waiting for Boyle to bring out that month's lodge applications. And there's always a long line, never enough applications to go around, and even if you do get an application, chances are you're right out of luck. Fewer called to the order and even less accepted. And Potsdam, well, they've turned him down so many times, unless he does something radical, he'll never get in. Crime-wise, nothing much has happened in Harvest since the newspaper fire. Oh, sure, every week or so we get the odd transient dropping dead, but other than that, it gets pretty slow around here. Sure, you remember, the Sentinel building burned down about 6 months ago.
That's what I'm telling you, Sheriff. I don't remember anything. Why won't you believe I have amnesia?
Well, you've always been a kidder, Steve. Anyway, the fireman said the fire was caused by arson. I never caught the perp, though.
But we found the gas can that was used. Yes, sirree, Bob. It's in the evidence room.
Loomis, that's classified. Darn it.
How many times you gonna have to tell me to keep my mouth shut, I wonder? Sorry, boss.
You've got the gas can in the evidence room? Did you dust it for prints?
You've been watching too much TV, Steve. Heck, who can make out all those curvy lines anyhow? No, it's sitting in there gathering dust, clean as the day we found it. Just in case I ever need a spare gas can. That case is closed, Steve. Stop on by any time, Steve. That's the evidence room, where we store items lifted from crime scenes. It's kept locked at all times. There's things in there that could make people jump through hoops, if I wanted.
Okay. Je sais pas si je serais capable de trouver de quoi, ouais. Ok, trouver une pelle. Ok. Hey. Ok. Donc, j'ai trouvé ça pis ça. Pas ça.
man. Okay.
Là, j'ai un button. Si je retourne voir le shérif avec ça. À moins que... Je retourne voir le police station. Oh, pourquoi il y a des trucs là?
Anything I can help you with? Help yourself. Speaking of which, you're real lucky to be marrying Stephanie. She don't look like a good woman. I just hope she don't turn out like Mrs. Loomis, or mercy forbid Mrs. Phelps. Good women can be awful hard on a man's needs, don't you know? Anytime, kiddo. Oh, I'm not interested in that kind of stuff, Steve. You know what I like, don't you? Oh, I'm not in.
Ok, ce que je vois à l'effet, ça c'est un bouton dont je m'en rappelle plus. Si je fais ça. Je donne le button à lui.
My button. Why, I lost that months ago. Where did you find it?
Funny thing that. I found it in the ashes. At the newspaper building.
What are you implying? That I had something to do with setting the fire? Preposterous. Why, 100 people must have visited that site since the fire. You just try showing that button to Sheriff Duane, son. He'll laugh you right out of his office.
Ok. Je viens d'y aller en plus. Police station. Il était pas là. Non, il est même pas là.
That interests me not at all, young man.
À moins que... Ah, ok, je comprends. Il y a une autre affaire, il fallait que je verrais. Ça sera au General Store, peut-être.
That's nice, dear.
Je peux avoir une autre approche avec l'autre bonhomme?
My button. Why, I lost that months ago. Where did you find it?
Funny thing that. I found it in the ashes. At the newspaper building.
What are you implying? That I had something to do with setting the fire? Preposterous. Why, 100 people must have visited that site since the fire. And what if I did? I guess I'd be pretty grateful to anyone who could help get me off the hook.
How?
You seem like a capable lad. Hypothetically, let's say there was a gas can sitting in the evidence room at the sheriff's office. A gas can which might have some incriminating prints on it. Someone might be very grateful for the return of that gas can. Say, grateful enough to provide whoever returned it with a lodge application. Oh, and Steve, you'll keep this to yourself. if you're smart.
Ok. Ouais. Ça peut, si je montre le bouton à tout le monde. Ah, je l'ai plus. Ok.
Kiddo, you brought me any of them girly...
No.
Oh,
Ok.
anytime.
Fait que lui, le magazine adulte, j'y donne à lui.
Oh. Oh. By George. Oh, by Jiminy. Oh, this here's the real thing. Oh. Can I have it? Oh. Oh, thank you, Steve. Excuse me, kiddo. I gotta go check the jail for clean towels.
Ok. Et, fait que va aller chercher la cacane de gaz. Il n'y a pas d'autre chose que je peux ramasser. Non, c'est bon. Donc, faut que je pogne la clé.
Well, that didn't work. Well, that didn't work.
Essaye de prendre ce que j'ai besoin. Ok. Ok. Fait que là, je vais retourner voir la maté.
Hello, Steve. Where's Loomis?
You'll be coming around the mountain if you come. Oh, oh, that's it.
Loomis, damn you!
Wait, no, 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 no! No!
Straining up the mattress again! Folding up the towels! Charming snake!
Ah, c'est que ça casse, ça, non? Fait que là, à ce moment-là, on retourne au post office. Comme ça. Puis on va donner la canisse à gaz à la chose pinouche.
Oh my God. I can't believe it. After all this time.
Where's my application, Boyle?
Here, take it. With my thanks. You know, this morning as I was making my rounds, I noticed an awful lot of television aerials on the roofs. Seems like more and more each day. You got me this can just in time, youngster. I may have need of it again.
What do you mean?
There's another reason why Sheriff Dwayne didn't investigate the Sentinel fire. If you'd like to get something else on the blackmailing bastard, check around the television station. While you still can.
Around the television station. Ok. On va aller voir ça. Television station. Ah, il y a là, ok. Ok, bon là j'ai appliqué ça.
Stay tuned, buckaroos. There's more to come on Range Riders Cowboy Roundup. So don't go away. And what's your name, hombre?
Steve.
Steve's a swell name. My dog's name is Steve. Would you like my autograph, Steve? Here you go, then. Violence? What about it?
Children watch your show. Don't you think this violence is bad for them?
Violence is as American as apple pie and low SAT scores. Where would we be right now if the cowboys hadn't gone out west and butchered innocent people to steal their land? Answer me that, Mr. Know-It-All.
But what about studies that have shown that children become more violent when watching violence?
Buckaroo, I rip the guts out of godless heathen Injuns. Most kids don't see godless heathen Injuns on a regular basis, and if they do, they better either get their eyes checked or do like old Range Rider and shoot the bejesus out of them, lest they want to go untreated for psychotic hallucinations, or wind up with their scalps hanging from a buckskin belt. Oh, shit! Ow! Shit on a stickeroo! The parents that are griping about violence on TV are the same parents that go outside in the morning to fetch their papers, secure in the knowledge that they won't get an arrow through the noodle because the violence they hate so much done cleared the Injuns out of the neighborhood.
Yeah, civilization has benefited from violence. But should violence be treated as entertainment?
Check my rating, son. Violence is entertainment. I just put it on the air. If some kid watches, that says something about the kid, not me. Now, excuse me, we're going back on the air.
Hey, Sport. This is a private office.
Yeah, I know, Mr.
McKnight. I own and operate this station. Have you brought me some news for tonight's broadcast, or...
I've lost my memory. That's news.
The hell it is! You always were a kidder, Steve. Any real news to tell me?
Actually, I was just wanting to know more about the TV station.
Hey, WHAR is the only television station in Harvest. Since the old Sentinel went under, what with the newspaper building burning down and all, we're golden. Nobody competes with us, Sport. Hey now, Sport, that's an irresponsible allegation. I had nothing to do with that fire. Just because WHAR may have benefited from it and I danced on the ashes a little, doesn't mean I torched the place. You can ask Sheriff Dwayne if you have any doubts.
You seem awfully touchy on the subject, sport.
I'm touchy when people try to muscle their way into my business. I'd appreciate it if you'd leave my office and don't come back.
Ok, il y a rien ici. Ça. Ça a l'air qu'il faut y avoir de quoi aux alentours du chose. Ok, on va aller voir au lodge parce que j'ai mon lodge appliance.
Only initiates may enter the hall of the Order of the Harvest Moon.
Did you say something?
I did not speak, but my mind touched yours.
Telepathy? But how?
Only those who seek enlightenment warrant my attention. Do you hunger for true knowledge? There are always obstacles to the path. You must first fill out an application to be considered for initiation into the mysteries. Applications are available at the post office. Postmaster Boyle disseminates them to the uninitiated. I do not sully my hands.
Then I just fill it out and return it to you, or what?
You may find it difficult to obtain an application. You will no doubt need to find some way to persuade Postmaster Boyle to give you one in the middle of the month, as it is against his rules. When you do, however, bring it to me. And if you are worthy, you will be put to the test.
Pour l'application, on va aller. Fait que ça, j'arrive, là, j'application, je donne à lui.
I've told you what you must do. Until you've proven yourself, I have nothing more to say.
Okay. Attends un peu, meet permission, attends un peu. Je ne sais pas ce qui était le meet permission, j'ai dû le pogner dans mon drawer, mais attends un peu. Si je retourne au meet plant. 47.
I don't get it.
À moins que... Pourtant, c'est manage application, c'est bien con.
I've told you what you must do until you've proven yourself.
Okay. Ça dit, Sheriff, if you think you're going to bring this pervert walk creepy, what Leviticus? You're all Leviticus, the boy. Okay, mon lodge application maintenant.
I've told you what you must. Have you obtained an application from the postmaster? If you would find knowledge, you must seek it from the first realization of the wanting. Whether you do or not matters little to me. Many are called, but few chosen.
Je l'ai, mon application Lodge. Pauvreté du diable.
I've told you.
Pauvreté. Ça va, faut le remplisse. J'ai-tu un crayon sur moi?
That's a ticket.
Ah! Ok, c'est moi qui est con. J'ai pogné le crayon, je l'ai mis sur Lodge Application.
I see you've managed to acquire an application. That demonstrates resourcefulness, a desirable trait for prospective members. You need a rest. Report back here for your next assignment.
Ok. On va avancer là, ça. C'est assez de jeu-là est sorti sur DOS, faut le dire. Bah, ça a fait DOS, mais quand même. Donc, le du reste, c'est pas vraiment venu. Ok. Ça, c'est pas rempli, non. Ok, on va sauvegarder les sites. Bon. Fait que là, faudrait que je retourne au lodge. Ah, c'est vrai, le newspaper pour chose bénouche.
Hey, Steve, you've been doing a swell job putting the paper out in the morning. You just keep doing that and we won't have any problems. That's not much to ask, is it?
Bon, je retourne au lodge.
I take it you wish to be initiated into the mysteries of the Order of the Harvest Moon. Very well. Know then that securing the application was but the first step on your road to enlightenment. Now you must complete a series of tasks to prove your worthiness as an initiate.
What kind of tasks?
Minor pranks, really. Nothing overly difficult. More tests of wit than prowess. But to complete them you must, if you wish to enter these walls.
Minor prank, eh? I'll bet. What have you got in mind?
There is in Harvest a man named Mr. Johnson. He owns a tucker. It is his pride and joy. I should like you to put a scratch in it.
A scratch. That's all?
As I said, a minor prank. Mind you, you are not to damage the vehicle. Merely put a single scratch in it. Once you have done so, return here, and I shall give you your next task.
Mr. Johnson, scratcher ton char, c'est bien calme. Tu de quoi pour graffiner au moins?
Well, that didn't work.
Après, un tournevis.
Hello, Steve. How's the husband-to-be?
Other than having no memory, I guess I'm all right.
All right? You should be ecstatic, considering what you're getting into, if you haven't gotten into it already. Speaking of which, I heard Stephanie was grounded. Her daddy's worried about getting his meat. Though if I were him, I'd be more concerned about Stephanie getting some meat.
Right. And you are?
You always were a kidder, Steve.
You always a kidder, Steve.
I'm Mr. Johnson, remember? Glad you stopped by. Just got finished waxing the tucker. I could use a little relaxation. But since Edna's not here, I might as well talk to you. Bye now.
Faut que je trouve un tournevis. Ça me paraît un tournevis. Quelque chose de même. Quelque chose pour se cacher. J'ai pas rien.
What do you want, Steve? I hear him at night, thrashing and moaning. I crawl out my window and see Mom's shadow on the shade, pot holders on her hands, reaching for him. How can she do the stitches on him wearing those? Wouldn't she slip?
Don't be silly. She wouldn't do that. Of course she'd slip.
Maybe that's why he's not getting better. Good. I know.
Hello, dear. How are you today? Don't forget to put the...
Faudrait que je trouverais un tournevis. Moi, je trouve un tournevis. Ça me paraît de quoi pour se cacher. Et où est-ce que je vais trouver un tournevis? Un peu au General Store. Faut que je trouve de quoi, faut que je trouve un tournevis ou whatever. Donc là, il faudrait que je ferais le tour des bâtiments, de voir tous les bâtiments. Là. Land TV station, j'y étais dans la dernière. Là, ça, je peux pas rentrer dans le garage. C'est sûr, je peux pas rentrer dans le garage. Faut que je la scratch, mais avec quoi?
Hey, what the hell are you doing? Stay out of there!
Moins que... J'assomme le bonhomme avec.
That really doesn't interest me, Steve. You rotten son of a bitch, bitch, bitch! Sheriff! Ugh.
Fuck, je suis mort. Ah, tu gères pas encore le loin en plus. Ah non, c'est vrai, j'ai sauvegardé au début de la journée, c'est vrai. Ok.
There now. See how easy it
Ok, voilà ça.
I take very
minor
as I
Ok. Fait qu'à ce moment-là... Là, va juste arriver. Dang. Un coup de pelle.
Hey, what the hell are you doing? Stay out of there!
J'en reviens de même. À moins que... Tapez, on l'essaie, ouais.
There is in Harvest a man named Mr.
A scratch.
As I...
Ok, parfait.
You rotten son of a bitch, bitch, bitch! Sheriff! Ugh.
sais pas, j'ai fait avancer l'histoire, mais en tout cas. Ça serait beau, oui.
You're under arrest for the murder of Mr. Johnson, Steve. Not the smartest thing you've ever done. Killing a man in broad daylight while he's sitting on his porch.
Somebody help me! What do you people want from me?
Too late for that, boy. Ain't it, Sergeant?
Indeed it is, Sheriff. Answers may only be found in the lodge, and you must be alive to seek them.
What? Ah, c'est ça, maman! Ah, c'est une mort à mort! Ok. Peut-être qu'il faut que j'essaye de décoller ça au plus vite. Je tue le bonhomme puis je décolle ça au plus vite.
There now. See?
I take very
Minor.
There.
As
I
Hey! You rotten son of a bitch! Bitch! Ugh.
Ah, les calices. Calice. Faut que je désarme la pelle.
Hey, Steve.
J'ai peur de décoller ça après.
Hey! What? You rotten son of a bitch!
You're on.
Il y a de quoi il faut que je fasse. C'est pas ça qu'il faut que je fasse. Faut y rayer ça. On va aller sauvegarder là où ce que. On va aller sauvegarder en avant. Faut que je la raye. Mais ça va vraiment me prendre de quoi pour rayer.
Hey, Steve.
Very well. Know then that secure.
What kind of
Minor pranks, really.
minor prank, eh?
There is in Harvest a man named Mr. Johnson.
A scratch.
As I said, a minor prank. Mind you, you're not to damage the vehicle. Merely put a single scratch in it. Once you have done so, return here.
Ouais, t'as pas compris parce que ça commence à être tard. Bon. Là, il faudrait rayer ce genre-là. Fait que avec la pelle, ça fait pas. Parce que là, qu'on peut voir, la pelle, ça fait pas. J'ai pas d'autre chose pour. Alt Doc. C'est quoi Doc? Stéphane, là? Tout Doc, qu'est-ce que j'ai crissé avec Doc? Tout Doc, c'est quoi ça veut dire Doc? Ouais, de quoi? Qu'est-ce que ça veut dire Doc? Doc, c'est certainement pas canard, c'est pas calme quand même. Éviter. Ok, voilà que c'est autre chose, ouais. Avec qu'on avait tout ça. Retourner chez Monsieur Johnson. Avec ma pelle dans les mains.
Hey! You.
Ok, c'est bien gardé. Ça fait rien. Ok, j'ai glitché. Ok, fait que ça sert à rien. Bon, ça veut dire que ça va prendre un tournevis. Ça prend un tournevis ou de quoi pour rayer. Ça va prendre de quoi pour rayer. Et quoi? On se concentre en tête avec ça. Là pour l'instant, ça va finir pour ça. Ben là, ça va être pour cet aspect-là. Ça fait combien de temps que je tiens? 1, 2, 3. Ouais, on va avoir à peu près 2 heures de la première partie. Donc, si je révise, là, faut essayer de rayer son char. Ça fait que faut trouver un tournevis. Soit un tournevis ou ben n'importe quoi qui peut rayer. Va falloir faire le tour du jeu encore. Ah les gars. En tout cas, ça va être tout pour aujourd'hui. Donc, merci d'avoir regardé. Et sur ce, joyeux Noël.